I fully stay up till 2 a.m. to record with people, and I go to sleep and then wake up the next day like 7 a.m. for work. My spacebar's been broken for about 3 months now, and I just haven't bought a new keyboard because I just haven't needed to.
My non-Minecraft podcast guest would be Taylor Swift.
I listen to Hamilton on repeat while I edit. Unless you're assuming the Earth is flat, hashtag it, and we have like infinite Earth. And he said there's just, Antarctica is actually just this massive wall that locks us in, that we can't escape. So did you know what I turned around and said to him?
What?
Oh, so it's a bit like a Minecraft Infinite World. And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh my, I said, that makes sense actually. I said, yeah, because like on Minecraft you can have like an infinite world. I said, alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC. Today we have a very special edition of the podcast. Who would have thought? I'm hyping this up really well, aren't I? This is the 100th edition of InsideMC. Yo, I'm not editing in cheers, so just pretend there's like a cheering noise. Anyways, welcome in everyone. I hope you're doing well. When I put the podcast tweet out for the 100th edition, I advertised how I would be joined with the amazing AJX. However, sadly, he wasn't able to record the podcast this week. Same way he missed out on the midweek MC, which is really ironic, right? So normally we record Inside MCs on a Monday and then midweek MC on a Wednesday, and then the midweek MC comes out first, even though we record it after. However, this time I recorded the midweek MC on a Wednesday, and we're recording this on a Friday. And I say where because I am joined with somebody who I'll introduce in a second, but it's fine. They're not as relevant as I am, so it's okay. I am joined with Potato Pie 25.
Wow, hello. Wait, I'm not relevant. No one knows me. Yeah.
You fell off, Potato Pie 25.
True.
Since you stopped being a co-host on the podcast.
Yep.
That was where you peaked. You've actually made like a good few appearances, funny enough, on the podcast. You were the first ever guest we had, which is really ironic because you were announced on April 1st, 2020 as the first ever guest. And then we also had a guest announcement on April 1st, 2024, which was Shoujo Solos. And that podcast released today, so.
Wow. Wait, 2020?
2022, sorry, 2022.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say. Yeah, I think this is my 5th or 6th time on the podcast now. I'm probably the person or like the guest that's been on the most at this point.
We have your guest interview. We have how to break the YouTube algorithm. You were on the Turbo Piggy podcast as a co-host as well, I believe.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay, so yeah, that should be 6 then.
Turbo Piggy, you were on the Return podcast, which makes it 4. You were on the Feinberg podcast, which makes it 5, and then this one makes it 6, right?
And also the Semito one.
And the Semito one, so this is the 7th. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Alright, so I'm gonna be on payroll after this, right?
You've made up 7% of the podcasts. Wow.
Let's go.
So you get 7% of the £30 that I made last month. So you get 30
it's like
divided
$2.40 or something.
30 times by 100. No, is that how you? Yeah, and then you divide it by 93. No, I've done this wrong. I think. No,
it's like $2.50 or something like that, or £2.40 or whatever.
30 divided by 100. Oh my god. 30 divided by 100 times by 7. £2.10p is what I'm getting here.
Nice. Hey, we take that. So I don't know what I can buy with that anymore, but you know.
£2.10p. That's not even enough to afford a Red Bull where I work. That's mental.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what the heck? Well, it's been a while since you come on. I guess I say it's been a while. When did what edition was the Feinberg podcast? That was number 50. Oh my goodness. 50 editions later and you're back. Wait, okay, that's actually kind of funny. That's kind of ironic.
That's cool.
For the new listeners, because we've gained a few new listeners who will just listen to any podcast. Do you want to give a little introduction of yourself? I know things have changed quite a lot for you as well over the years of the podcast. So who are you? And maybe a fun fact if you have one for us here.
So hi, I'm Potato Pie. I used to be a YouTuber. Maybe still kind of am. I don't know. I've been playing Minecraft for a very long time, since 2013. So I've been playing Minecraft for over 10 years at this point. That's insane. And yeah, I've been on the podcast a fair few times. Is that good enough?
Yeah. Is that your fun fact? Bit of a boring fun fact considering I already talked about
it. What other fun fact do I?
Oh, I have one.
Go for it. Do it.
You are the age of the number in your username.
What? No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're 25.
Oh wait, yeah, I am. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, you're actually younger though, aren't you? Than that?
Yeah, I'm 23.
Oh, and your birthday's in December. No way, so you're actually turning 24 this year.
Yeah.
You were 21 when you first came on the podcast.
Yeah, I guess. Wow. Yeah, I was.
I know you don't drink, but you were just legal to drink. Look at that. We could have done a drunk podcast. That was 18.
Yeah.
So we could have just met you and I.
True. Wait, you're right. Yeah. One of these days, whenever we meet up, we got to do like an IRL podcast. I think that would be super fun.
We will. I just need to get the equipment for it.
Yeah.
Money is fun. And I'm also going on hot for. So this podcast is coming out on 3 days before I fly off to Germany. So you're actually going to get an announcement for the people listening to this when it's releases in 3 hours from now, which is about then not being a podcast recording next week, which is going to feel so weird. I've recorded weekly podcasts for the last year now when I record next week, which is kind of mental.
Yeah.
The grind's at by 25. With over 30 weeks, of there being 2 podcasts a week.
Wow.
I know.
That's insane.
I'm putting in the work. But by the way, sorry, we should probably clear up what this podcast is going to be like, because I kind of just started waffling. That's the goal for the podcast. It's basically just me kind of getting to talk about me for a little bit. It was going to be the same with AJX, and like obviously here with PotatoPie. You know, I've interviewed PotatoPie. I've had him on as a guest, so we've talked to him. Even the Return podcast, we talked about you on the Return podcast. So this podcast is going to be kind of like the Return one in a sense, where it's more just going to be me waffling away and getting the chance, because I don't really get it, right? I've never been invited on a podcast. I don't really stream too much anymore, so this is my opportunity to kind of waffle away and talk about my opinions on stuff on the podcast, not like the economic state of the world. I keep getting ads on YouTube about voting, and it's really annoying.
Ooh.
I will be neither confirming or denying if I'm going to vote, because I don't want to get into politics on the podcast. However, I keep getting ads on YouTube. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to poll on May 2nd. It's just like, dude, come on.
This is why you use an ad blocker.
Your mic just cut out as soon as you said that. What?
And this is why you use an ad blocker.
There we go. Literally, all I heard was, and this is why you use an ad block. And then your mic just died. But yeah, so this is just going to be kind of just us talking. Also, my hearing in my left ear is still really, really muffled. So if the audio levels are a little bit off this podcast, apologies, because I can hear myself like really prominently, and it's bloody annoying. I love the sound of my voice. I edit my own podcast. I don't want to hear it inside my own head, you know? But it's okay.
I get you.
Like I said, waffling away. So, Potato 25. Now that I've cleared that up, let's get back to the waffle.
All right.
Yeah, so with you being 21 with the first time you came on, I actually turned 21 in not so long on Star Wars Day, in fact.
Oh, May the 4th.
You know this. Why are you acting all shocked? Like, oh, well, I didn't know that. Yes, you did.
Honestly, I forgot. Dude, I am horrible at remembering birthdays. I know like my close family members' birthdays and my girlfriend's birthday, and that's like it. I never remember anyone else's birthday other than Turbo Piggy, because his is just like
his birthday's
like I don't know. I've never seen anyone else that's had a birthday on April Fool's. Maybe he's actually just fooling us, and it's not actually his birthday.
Could be a lie.
I mean, it could be.
I'm out.
That's like the only like close friend's birthday that I really ever remember.
I'm out with him.
Like even my IRL friends, like I forgot all of their birthdays as well this year.
Well, you should remember mine. It's Star Wars Day. Like write it down somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. Let me commit it to memory.
There we go. Perfect. Where was I going with this? I was going somewhere with it. I've lost it.
You're turning 21.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, before I was going to say this was I'm kind of the same. The only birthdays I remember is my brother's, which is like 1 or 2 days. I'm like kind of on and off. I know my mum's birthday only because of my girlfriend now. I know my granddad's birthday, which is also 1 or 2 days, and then that's it. They're the only birthdays I know. So I honestly, I'm not much better. At least you kind of know your family's one. I don't know anybody's.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, with the whole turning 21 thing, I turned 21 on May 4th, which for the listeners here, a lot of you listen to the podcast with the event people on it. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably an event listener. MCC's returning. That got announced just before we recorded, which is kind of hype. So I'm kind of glad this got delayed in a sense. I'm not glad because obviously I would love AJX to be here, but you get what I mean. I'm glad we're recording on a Friday because MCC's just announced its return to be back on May the 4th. So that's pretty exciting.
Wow, super cool.
Hopefully, right? I guess I can leak this because hopefully the video is out by then. I have a MCC video I'm working on. PotatoPie knows about it. They know who's in the video. It's a pretty stacked roster. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, this video, it's gonna rival the speedrunning video. Honestly, I mean, it's gonna be sick.
Do you know I'm also working on another one? I don't know if I told you.
Oh yeah. You told me about this. I mean,
that one
I
won't say.
Probably don't want to leak it, but yeah, there's also another one coming. Podcast listeners, that will also be pretty cool.
Yeah. So hopefully, if all goes well, the MCC video should have released yesterday. Assuming the first batch of teams were announced yesterday, from if you're listening to this on the day of release, hopefully the video should have also come out yesterday. Assuming it's also edited. The Peters, if it's not edited by by then, I'm going to scream and cry, okay? Because I sent you this stuff like a week ago from recording the podcast. I know dates are confusing, but so I'm calling them out. If Peters doesn't have this podcast edited, then yeah. Not podcast, the video edited. And then yeah, the next video is also pretty hype. It's kind of a video that you need everyone to be together for. However, I'm editing up in a way to like merge them all together. Working with creators is so stressful. It's so stressful.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like super pushy or anything like that, but you also kind of need to get your own content without it taking a billion years. So it's kind of like, it's a balance. I get what you're saying.
Man, because like for anyone who doesn't know, I'm kind of trying to go more down the interview route of, yeah, the podcast is still going to be a thing now. I'm still planning to do them weekly. Other than when I go on holidays, when I decide I want to take a break. Like the podcast that came out last week, like the Jojo Solos one and the Animal Mace one, I recorded both of those and edited those both of those while I was ill. Like I went on holiday, got back. I didn't even go on holiday. I went up to Birmingham, got back, spent an entire week unwell about editing the podcast. So I'm dedicated, and I'm going to stay that way. But there are going to be a few times where I want to take a rest. But yeah, with like the podcast, it's not so bad because I can schedule people really far in advance. I have like the entirety of May booked out now for podcast guests.
Oh wow, okay.
And there's some really sick. Here, let me show you. I don't mind sharing it with you. You're not the listener. You're not seeing it. I'm sending it in Mr. Potato Pie 25's DMs right now. I'm marking it as
listeners. Let me leak this real quick.
That's the lineup. Pink is unconfirmed. The other ones are all confirmed.
That one on May 27th. Damn.
Even that one to follow if it happens. That's crazy back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, so these dates have slightly changed actually, but that one is still saying May 27th. But that's recording date, by the way, for the listeners. Podcast that comes out on the 7th is the one that we're referring to here. The 7th of June. Actually, funny enough, but it's kind of mental. It's kind of cool. I'm really excited for it. But with that, I can kind of get them booked in advance and they'll put in their calendars, and I bump them the week before, and if they can't do that day, I can kind of alternate between days. But when I'm trying to record a video, I think every 2 days I follow up and I'm just like, hi, like following up, and then like someone's like, oh yeah, I can do it. So I'm like, okay, hi, I'm free for the next 8 hours if you're able to record, which is like from send a message at like 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. I fully set up till 2 a.m. to record with people, and I go to sleep and then wake up the next day like 7 a.m. for work.
Wow.
So I'll be like, hi, like, I'm free if you're, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm good, like within the next 5 hours I'll let you know. And then they don't message, I'm just like, okay, I won't say anything. And then 2 days I'm like, hi, like, the video. Obviously I'm a lot more professional than this, like I do in a professional sense. And I'm not calling anyone out here because obviously everyone's really, really busy and they have their own lives. So same as I, like, sometimes I forgot to respond to DMs, or I forgot I made plans. But like, oh man, when you're trying to do it with multiple people, it's rough. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So, like the MCC one, I think I recorded it over the span of like 3 weeks because somebody just couldn't record it for a week. This one I'm trying to get done and recorded before I go on holiday so that like the people editing the video and stuff can start working on it. Or like, there's a certain idea to it, which you'll see. The editing won't begin, but something will be starting for it while I'm on holiday, hopefully.
Very cool.
How have you been?
I've been good. I mean, I'm probably, like, I don't know if you caught it earlier, I'm probably making somewhat of a return to YouTube, at least.
What was it?
I've got some ideas. I want to test the waters with it.
Did you tweet it?
I mean, no, I didn't. I put it in like my Discord, like, any content day type of thing.
Okay, let's have a look.
I mean, it's just I've got a few things I want to test the waters, see if I want to, come back.
Ooh, okay.
And if it works, then cool. If not, then it is what it is. I mean, I still don't think I'll ever really plan on like being the community. I'll still be a presence online, but we'll just see how it goes. I don't want to like commit to too much yet, but I've got at least a few videos in the works. I mean, obviously of a few of them, or at least one of them that I've told you about.
I think I know of two. I can't remember. Like, you've told me about two, but I can only remember one of them, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't know exactly when these videos are going to come out. I'm hoping to have one out next week when we're recording this. So, but I don't know when this podcast is going out. But
Friday, 4 p.m. BST, 11 a.m. EST, ETT. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, it might be out by then. I hope it'll be out by then, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm probably gonna make somewhat of a comeback. But again, I don't want to commit too hard yet in case it doesn't work out. I don't know. I've still got this passion to like make content, but I'm just not really sure if Minecraft is that thing, that I want to make content on.
Make Valorant content, Valorant commentary.
Hell no, I hate Valorant so much. It's such a bad game.
Crazy, that's crazy.
Dude, I really am. Like, I played Valorant back in like 2020 for like a year, and then I came back to CS, and CS is just so much of a better game. Like, I could rant about it, but this is a Minecraft podcast, so
I'll have you know, all right, and that's something I want to talk about as well. So I'm actually glad you made that comment. That's completely unscripted, by the way. You've actually just raised the point, and it's like the perfect transition. We'll go back to you talking about you in a second, but I can wait. Okay, it's fine. This is not just a Minecraft podcast anymore. Okay, it's a podcast branded Inside Minecraft. We've got Sarah Simons on. She doesn't do Minecraft. TechnoDad, yeah, I guess technically he's doing Minecraft, but not fully. We've had the Opera GX Twitter admin. That's not Minecraft. GSA, that's not Minecraft. So, you know, slowly over the course of the next like few odd months, Midweek MC is going to start. Well, I guess not the next people I've scheduled in, but it's not just going to be strictly Minecraft creators. There's going to be people kind of linking to Minecraft, but we're also going to try and get people on in different communities because I want to start branching out. But I like the originality of the idea of it being inside Minecraft and giving people the option to come on and not have to show their face, and that comfort idea. But yeah, so it's not just so talk away, because it's not just a Minecraft podcast, all right? It's a podcast branded inside Minecraft. There you go.
Okay, so first I want to make the point that, like, I mean, even though so I feel like Opera GX is kind of the outlier, and yeah, they're not really related to Minecraft at all, but like Sarah Simons is still Minecraft adjacent. Tommy and is her son. You got GSA, they do Minecraft speedrun tournaments among other speedrun stuff. They're still like, but
a fella didn't have a Minecraft skin. Who came on?
I guess. I guess. I don't know. I see your point. Either way,
there's also we also brought on Mr. Mystery. He doesn't do Minecraft. He does like really cool designs and stuff. We brought on. I mean, we've done a podcast about mental health. We've done a podcast about Asexual Disability Day. That's not Minecraft.
True. You're right.
So, and I get, I like. By the way, I'm like part joking with my whole like confrontational thing here. I'm like fully joking my whole.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I mean, more for the listeners in case they don't understand my tone change. The confrontation here is a joke. However, I am being serious in the idea of wanting to branch out. So there is a vision. It's just about if it happens, which I mean, it will when it happens. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want my Valorant rant then?
Yeah, go on. Yes.
All right. Valorant sucks because the reason I don't like Valorant is because it also compares with CS, right? In Valorant, if you want to play the game at any sort of decent level, you have to know what every single other agent does and how to counter it. Meanwhile, in CS, you kind of learn callouts, you learn how to throw grenades and what they do, and that's it. Like, every character in Valorant has, like, 3 or 4 different abilities that all do different things, different flashes, different, like, rezzing mechanics. Dude, I don't even know. There's like a billion new characters in Valorant. I don't know what they all do. Call me a boomer, but like, man, I just like CS. It's so much simpler, like, and it just shows skill as opposed to, oh, you just get hard countered by a certain agent because you picked another agent at the beginning of the game. It's just a more level playing field, I guess. All right, that's my Valorant.
And this is why Rainbow Six Siege is clear. You heard it here first.
What do you mean? No, Siege is the same type of thing as
Siege is so clear of any of the other games.
No. Okay, so Siege is the same sort of thing. You have like the agents or characters or whatever they're called, and they each have their own ability. The thing that lets you see through walls, or different like ways you can blow open walls, or different grenades that do different things, or things that let you get info or see through. Like it's the same type of thing as Valorant. And also the other thing that I absolutely hate and despise about Rainbow Six Siege is the one-shot headshot with every single gun. It is just awful. Someone will peek out from a corner for like half a second, tap you, and you're dead and out of the round for like the next 2 minutes. And also, I have one more thing to say that I hate about Siege, but go for it.
No, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, but did I ask?
That's fair. But you said I could rant about it. So.
Valorant.
Okay.
I didn't ask you to rant about Siege, but go on, say your final thing.
My final thing is that Rainbow Six Siege is literally a sit outside and wait for picks. Like, say you're attacking or whatever, or a defense. Sit there and wait for picks for 2 minutes, and then in the last 20 seconds of the round, that's when everything happens. It's just so boring to just sit there and hold an angle, or like, throw your util or whatever, and then just sit there and wait. I don't like Siege either. I hate it. CSGO is the best shooter game.
Right, I'm not going to build on that. After community that listens to the podcast play Valorant, gun for his head. Don't gun for his head, listeners. Leave him alone. He just has his opinions. They're wrong, but he has his opinions. I'm not a big fan of Valorant either, to be fair. I will say that I'm not a massive fan.
Have you played it?
No, I just don't like the looks of it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't blame you.
We're just going to kind of jump back and forth between topics here and just kind of waffle. I went on to the InsideMC Podcast most viewed, and it's pretty interesting to see. Your interview podcast is the 3rd most viewed podcast.
Yeah.
It is about to fall, though.
Up to...
Feinberg.
Okay, yeah.
Which you're on, actually.
Yeah, I know. See, I'm still there. Actually,
technically, it's the 2nd most viewed podcast, because the first video is literally just... That got 6.1k views. That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Pretty damn good.
Now, how do Minecraft speedruns compare themselves? I reckon, hot take, this new video bags at least 20k at the minimum.
Probably. Yeah, you're right. It depends on how much creators decide to like promote it, retweet it, share it, that sort of stuff. But I mean, just the lineup on it in general. I mean, yeah, that's gonna get so many new people, just like community and stuff like that. So that's super exciting.
The thumbnail's public. Have you seen the thumbnail?
Yes, I have.
You have? I showed you it, didn't I? See, I forget why I told show you. You don't talk teenagers,
didn't you?
Oh, so you saw the tweet? Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be hype. I have clicked off. Oh yeah. So then the next one is Fruitberries with 3.5k views. Yourself with 2.7k views. The first ever podcast with 2.7k. Finebird 2.7k. Then it drops a Noxai on 1.6k. Out of the new podcasts, Wolfie has 1.3k. Silverruns has 1.2k. Kellawesome has 1.1k. Kaman has 1.1k. Corey has 1k. B-Silver has 1k. Yeah, Kaman's only 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
So, you know, the podcasts are doing pretty good now where they're consistently getting a large amount of views, which is really nice to see for a channel with 1.5k subscribers. Like, I'm constantly matching my view to sub count. Growth has been a little bit rough this week. I reckon hopefully when the video comes out, growth will kind of like just skyrocket. I'm confident that video is going to do well. And if it does do well, then it kind of builds momentum. The speedrunner one set the standpoint, right? And people really enjoyed that. I mean, that got, like I said, 6.1k views. It got 472 likes. And let's see what the AVD is.
It's got to be over 10 minutes, right?
A 20-minute video with an AVD of 8 minutes, which is good still.
Yeah, that's respectable. Yeah.
So it's pretty hyped to see. I'm kind of just stat bombing, but you know, It's
no, I mean, this is just a reflection podcast. I think that's fine.
But with you and your content, as you mentioned, it's you're looking to make a return. You did upload a video like 2 weeks ago, was it? I believe. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's a new Bedrock featured server coming with Hive Treasure Wars background gameplay. That's like for the archives already. It's only 2 weeks old and it's already an archive YouTube video with the background footage. Well, you can't play Treasure Wars anymore. At least not in.
No, that was Sky Wars gameplay.
Oh, I knew that. I was just testing you to make sure you knew.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant like whatever you use Treasure Wars in. I guess there you go. That's for the archives. But you know, it's kind of interesting to see the new server. I actually agreed quite strongly with your points. I got around to watching it the other day because I wasn't sure. Because I think I agreed with it, and I was like to someone, I think Potato Pie might share the same views, but I'm not sure. Where like it's kind of warranted that it's a pay-to-play server. Like I'm putting that very bluntly. Obviously, if you want to watch the video, go watch the video if you want more in depth. But you know, not you. You're the one who made it. I mean, I'm talking to listeners there. Sorry, but you know, it kind of needs to happen. Bedrock Edition is kind of having a rough time financially, and you can see that from the servers and how, you know, certain servers like CubeCraft kind of just keep copying ideas, which is interesting. But
yeah, so a little bit of context on the video for people that didn't haven't watched. I don't blame you or whatever. So there's a new Bedrock featured server coming, and you're going to have to pay for a pass to be able to play anything on the server. Maybe they'll have a free trial or something like that, but it's not going to be much. You're going to have to pay to play, you know, majority of the content on the server. And a lot of people are understandably upset about it because a lot of people in the Minecraft and the Minecraft Bedrock community are kids who don't have, you know, much disposable income. And so I get it. I get why people are like upset about it. But at the same time, part of the reason why servers don't have that much money is because a lot of, you know, people that play are kids and aren't or can't spend money. And so like it's a necessary, I wouldn't say evil, but it's a necessary thing that kind of sucks. Like otherwise this like Minecraft servers aren't going to make money. Like, you know, Blacksite, there's no way in hell that they are making enough money. They are definitely being supported by their Minecraft marketplace, you know, like their Blockception stuff they get money from. Running a Minecraft server nowadays, for the most part, with a few exceptions, just isn't profitable. You're gonna lose money. And so that's why they're going pay to play. It sucks, but at the same time, if we want to see, you know, new content in Minecraft and Minecraft Bedrock, we're gonna have to pay for it.
And my take on it was that by the looks of things, that server isn't going to be like a multiplayer server. And by that I mean I'm going to build on it. All right. I said that as like a standpoint for my point here is that it's going to be multiplayer, yes, but it's not going to rely on like Sky Wars or like, you know, Treasure Wars. Or it's not going to be a game where like it has to rely on other people to play the server. It looks like it's just going to be one where you can do it solo or you can play with friends. A bit like Skyblock. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's why I said like it's not going to be multiplayer as a standpoint, so I could build on it.
Yeah. Speaking of Skyblock, Hive Skyblock, thoughts on that?
Oh god, we're talking a lot about Bedrock here, considering I moved away from a year ago. And it's fine. You're a Bedrock guy. It looks interesting. I don't think it'll be too long before CubeCraft release their Skyblock beta. I know they already
True,
have
true.
Skyblock, but like a new like updated beta version, a bit like they did with Bed Wars. Definitely going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, when will it release? Probably in the year 2026. But
no, it's supposed to come out this year, I believe.
Wasn't like Bed Wars planned for like months?
No, you're not wrong on that. You're definitely not wrong about Bed Wars taking a while. But also, to be fair, the reason why Bed Wars took a long time probably was because they were also working on this at the same time. I still have a theory that Microsoft is trying to push servers to make content that isn't, you know, like mini games, Sky Wars, Bed Wars, that sort of stuff. And that's probably why it kind of took priority for the Hive, because I would, if I had to guess, I would bet the Hive and stuff like Enchanted Dragons and maybe other servers that we haven't heard about yet are getting a bag from Microsoft to make this sort of stuff.
Maybe. I do also,
that's just my guess.
I do want to also add to speculation that we'll definitely see the server this year because Hive have more of a time frame, or like have more of a pressure to release it, in a sense of, you know, on their own server they can kind of just do what they want, you know, if they're struggling then fair, but the whole new server has been advertised, it's now public. Microsoft are going to be like, come on, it's been months, like where's our server?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the Hive does good with like, you know, deadlines when it's like with another company or sort of thing. Like, I mean, Sonic was worked on in the background for a long time, and that had the deadline, I'm pretty sure.
And stuff.
What was that?
Didn't they do like stuff like the mob vote and stuff as well?
Yeah, the mob vote, and the there was also that Universal server. I'd never played on it, but I heard about it. Yeah, it's that sort of stuff. Hive's gonna put like, you know, stuff that they're getting paid by companies for. That's gonna be on the front burner. The server content is gonna be a little bit on the back burner.
And that's how they fund it.
Yep, exactly.
People need to realize that and stop complaining. I'll actually defend you here, Hive. Although I haven't really logged on. I was actually going to log on to it today. I might do after the podcast, we'll see, and try out the new Bed Wars. Although I don't really play Bedrock and I don't really play Hive anymore, I will still say that they're doing their best. And if you don't like it, then just move away from it like I did. You know, I wasn't enjoying Bedrock, so I just moved away. If it's that big of a deal, you don't need to keep crying.
I think people are fine to complain about it, but also know that people are going to make fun of you for complaining about it as well. Nothing wrong with complaining. I mean, that's allowed, but yeah.
You're allowed to be sad, but understand that, you know, not everything is going to go your way. You're not the main character.
Exactly. There you go. You hit the nail on the head there.
So, you know, don't, like, I guess just for your sake, don't be sad publicly if it's not popular opinion, or to try and fit into popular opinion, because it sucks. There you go. Kind of moving away from Bedrock then, Potato Pie 25, because I don't want to get stuck on that for too long. Yeah, that's a little trip down memory lane. There you go. That's the part of the podcast where we go back. Let's talk about the growth of the podcast. No way.
Yeah.
Let's big myself up here. Podcast has been doing mental lately. I always say this, and I was actually talking to AJ about it earlier over message. The turning point, and I always say, like, I don't know if they listen to the podcast or if they've ever heard me say this, but a big thank you goes to Fulham. He's where everything kind of turned. I know I'm really narrowing it down here to one person, and I thank everyone who comes on the podcast, everyone who's been a guest, everyone who's co-hosted, everyone who's joined me like yourself today. A big thank you, and I'm so grateful for everyone who's given me the time of day to come on and talk about themselves. And that's like in a jokey way of talking about themselves, but in a serious way of actually helping me grow, because if you weren't willing to come on my podcast and talk about yourself, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be 100 podcasts deep. So big thank you. But with him, it felt like the turning point. There's always that moment you get a bit of a spark, right? You're doing something, and then something just happens and everything feels like it goes uphill from there. That was the Fulham podcast.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I can agree with you that was the turning point. Yeah.
Because I mean, like, obviously, once again, every creator I've had on is really cool. So please, if I don't mention your name here, I still think you're really cool if you've been on the podcast. I am just simply saying the Fulham podcast was 7 months ago, and look at the creators I've been able to get on since. Mental. Yeah. And it's so cool. It's so cool. And that was podcast number 33. Jeez, the 67 editions later. A midweek MC plays a big part in that though, because I'm over until a week. Even the midweek MC like guests are really cool. So I've just realized actually, the midweek, because I did a video I uploaded, I realized that the format on YouTube is actually messed up. Oh crap.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
That's why I missed out certain people when I was listing them off. You know, it's cool to see, and I kind of want to use this moment to say thank you everyone who's listening right now. There's a lot of regulars. You know, one prominent one, I'll give you a shout again. Penguins. I believe you know who Penguins is. They are a Hive. Don't know if they're still a Hive moderator. Are you? Still
yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Are you still a Hive moderator, Penguins?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I can't find their Twitter handle. Why can't I? Wait, hold up. I need to fact check myself here for the sake of it. They're probably listening to this. Anyways, but yeah, they're a Discord mod for the InsideMC Discord, which you should join. And they're also just a regular listener. They kind of just listen to any podcast that I will forward on. So thank you to you specifically. I don't know if you're still a Hive helper, but you used to do content on the Hive, and you still do. Actually, you still do. No, not content. You're a Hive person person. There we go. that's what we get. But it's just regular listeners, people who will support the podcast no matter what. You who's listening right now, you're listening to a podcast where I just waffle away and it's mainly just me. So thank you, and you should comment, because no one ever comments when I do this. Actually, do comment down below if you're listening right now, because you know you're a real one, you know. So, but just the growth is mental. It's so cool to see. I'm so excited for you guys to see what's happening. I mean, this Sunday from recording, we have the One Shot Royale charity event happening, which is exciting. The InsideMC One Shot to raise money for the British Red Cross. Which, for some context here, it's for the British Red Cross because they've reached out to the podcast, and I actually met up with Danny Insomnia. He's a really cool guy.
Nice.
But Red Cross is global. Like there's an American Red Cross. I'm pretty sure there's a few European Red Crosses. It's just the British Red Cross specifically. It's all the same umbrella, right? It's charity, and at the end of the day, it's helping people at the end of the day. But so British Red Cross, I think about like 1 or 2 people make like a little jokey comment about it being specifically British. That's just what it's called. All right, it's charity. It's the same as anything else, and I think it's really cool that we're raising money. I hopefully got some plans throughout the year with other tournaments. Not that I've reached out to any yet, but hopefully we might see some other stuff, and not just One Shot. So that'll be pretty cool, and I'm so grateful to Milk and Mighty for letting us collab there. Podcast guest wise, I mean, Midweek MC has become an interviewing podcast, strictly interview pretty much. Every now and then we may do a podcast where it's just us waffling, a bit like this one. However, it is majority interviewing now.
Okay, so I just noticed something. I was scrolling the InsideMC YouTube channel, and I just realized, so you know how you changed the name from InsideMinecraft to InsideMC because of Mojang's rule last year about how we can't Minecraft.
I know where this is going, but yes.
You know where this is going?
I mean, maybe.
So I noticed on the thumbnail, what was this? InsideMC 31.
Yep.
Good, that and back.
One.
Yeah, the thumbnails still say InsideMinecraft. Let me get my phone out real quick. Let me dial. Hello, Mojang. Insane Orbitzz on his InsideMC podcast is using Minecraft in the name still in the thumbnail. Yeah, okay, you guys are gonna sue? Cool, good. Yeah. All right.
If you feel like going back and changing every single one of those thumbnails, you can happily do it. But I am not getting the Eurocat to go back through 31 thumbnails and change them all to say InsideMC, because that's just long. And he'll also have to change the old ones, which were up until edition number 15, which is when the podcast originally stopped. All those did really well for views, by the way. Looking back at it, they did crazy for views.
They did.
But then it was also a different time. It was when I was booming as like a content creator myself. It's when I was able to. It was before I got the night shift job. So I had my main content. It was Bedrock. I had the Bedrock viewers. I will say though, and this is a hot take and it's a real take, and I can say it because it's about myself. You can disagree all you want, that's fine. But I feel like I know I'm right here. And you know, not specifically you disagree, but anyone disagree. If I carried on making podcasts at that time and never took a break, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
That's true. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. I just, you know, just due to certain circumstances, which I won't get into fully, a few of them I can, but I won't get into every single one. But one of the main ones being there was a Bedrock Edition podcast, or like at least, you know, kind of started as Bedrock. I just, maybe I'd have more subscribers, maybe I'd have more views, maybe I would have got monetized a lot sooner. I would have got monetized a lot sooner, but I just wouldn't have the connections I have now, because the connections I've been able to make through genuine Java connections, rather than, I mean, I said this on, I think it was like the Firebreath Man podcast, when InsideMinecraft was a thing, back in May 2022, I can actually just go through the Twitter DMs here. I sent a bunch of podcast invitations out, right? And it's a really crappy copy pasta that I've improved on a bunch, but I reached out to Fulham, and just naming the ones that have come on the podcast. Fulham on May 13th, Firebreath Man on April 27th. I never did re-record with RKY. How sad. Fruitberries on May 16th, Feinberg on May 15th, Horryway on May 15th, Noxite on May 15th, Hannah, who's just been announced today, on May 15th. Like, and there's a bunch more that just aren't showing, but that's crazy. Like that now, all of them, because of genuine connections. Like the podcast hasn't grown much since, I mean, it's doing less growth than it did back in May 2022, but because of the genuine connections I made with people, they've been willing to come on and talk to me, and it's just crazy to think about, really.
Definitely.
So what's your thoughts on the podcast? If you have any. I'm putting you on the spot here.
What do you mean thoughts on the podcast? Like the growth, or
what do you think about the InsideMC podcast?
I mean, I think it's good. Like, honestly, I'm not like as embedded in the community as I used to be. I don't know, like, are there other like podcasts that do anything similar, or like is yours kind of the only one, if that's something you want to talk about?
And the interview one, there's I will shout out some podcasts here. There's the Withering Effect, which is really super cool, and not as consistent, sadly. However, let me see, Withering Effect Podcast on YouTube at least. Yeah, they don't really upload as consistently, but when they do upload, they're pretty good podcasts. Like 1 month ago, 3 months ago, 5 months ago. There's Block Chunks, which has been around for like just so much longer than I have. Is it Block Chunks? No, Spawn Chunks. Sorry, the Spawn Chunks podcast.
There's the HBG podcast that happens like once a year.
Yeah, but does that count? It doesn't.
Not really, but
the Spawn Chunks podcast uploads every Tuesday, I believe. 9th of April was that. Yeah, the Spawn Chunks podcast uploads every Tuesday. They have 18k subscribers and they get well over 1k views a video.
That's pretty good.
It's very cool.
But yeah, I guess...
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say there's also the Imp and Skids podcast as well. So
okay,
which is interviewing creators, but more so Hermitcrafts and stuff. So
yeah. So the point I was going to make basically is that, like, I mean, you're doing a good thing for the Minecraft community, kind of like connecting these creators on a little bit more of a personal level without getting parasocial, like to the community. And I think like the InsideMinecraft or InsideMC Podcast, I mean, it's a good thing. And also, you know, talking about other causes, talking about, you know, the mental health thing, and I should know this, Asexual Disability Day. There we go. I found it. You know, I mean, that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, this podcast is doing good for the community, I feel like.
I mean, it's just, I mean, as much as like I agree, and you know, I know sort of slogan I use every now and then is I'm giving a voice to the community, right? I'm giving content creators a voice to talk about themselves and express themselves, which is like part true, because you know, it's the same I said to someone, like, you can talk about yourself on stream, you can do all of this, but it's never gonna stick as an archive, right? No one's really gonna go back and look for a VOD. Or if there's specifically a podcast with your name on it, where I am, because I ask questions that you don't expect to answer, right? Like, I've had a lot of people come on the podcast and be like, damn, you just asked so many questions I just wasn't expecting you to ask. I'm like, yeah, because you know, I'm gonna dwell into you and ask you questions that you wouldn't think about answering, and that's what makes a good podcast, because I'm putting you on the spot and getting your real raw answers, not you having to think about it. That's why I do the videos as well. Like, for some context here, them like interviewing videos, I don't tell them what the questions are. They don't get a chance to think about it. I join the call, I ask them the question, they answer, and that's it. I love that. I love just shotgunning it, you know?
Yeah, so, exactly.
But it's cool. I like it. And as you can see, when I get given a chance to talk about myself, I can talk a lot. And this podcast is mainly going to be me talking, because I talk about myself on podcasts and I reference myself a lot when I talk to people, which is completely fine because that is my podcast. But I never really get the chance to kind of just sit down and just waffle like this. So yeah, very cool. But you're right. It's something original. It's there's not many people who do the interviewing of guests thing, at least in the Minecraft community. So I am giving that option for people to come on and initiative, right? I mean, I was talking to someone the other day. I want to say their name, but just in case they don't want me to, I won't. But we were chatting and it was like, apparently I have the skills of an entrepreneur. I was like, really? How? It's like, because you've always known how to kind of like not jump ship but move on from something when it's not like doing the same. Like, I went from command block tutorials into CubeCraft, into Hive, into commentary, into MCC Island, and now I finally settled down with the podcast. Yeah, and I feel like I finally found my footing, which is really nice.
I think so. You've definitely found your calling. I mean, you're pretty damn good at, you know, making connections, interviewing people, that sort of stuff. And so I think you've found your calling.
Oh, I'm comfortable as well, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of creators can't say that about their own content, I reckon.
Yeah.
I do wish I'd stream more though. I know you're not streaming at the moment and you're not planning on streaming for the foreseeable future. I do wish I could get into it, but every single time I go to hit like go live, I just don't want to.
Streaming is a whole different beast. It's exhausting, like mentally. I mean you're not like doing any, like you're just like sitting at your computer, you know, like clicking a mouse, pressing keyboard buttons and that sort of stuff. But like, you know, keeping up chat and like making sure the stream's still interesting and all that sort of stuff. And like, you know, it's exhausting. I don't know if that's the way that you feel about it, but that's how it is for me, at least.
I don't know. I've not really got any passion to play the game. I mean, my spacebar's been broken for about 3 months now, and I just haven't bought a new keyboard because I just haven't needed to.
Wait, so can you just like not press space at all? Or
oh no, I can.
What's broken about it?
It's just like so when I play, I always click the left side of the spacebar, not the middle or anything. So when I'm playing and I'm clicking the left side's broken, but the right side is fine.
Okay.
It's just the way the spacebar's set up, really, and it's annoying. But I played in like a tournament. Oh yeah.
Could you take the space? Oh no, I guess you probably wouldn't work with your keyboard. Can you take it off and like turn it around so that the broken left side is on the right side? No. Okay.
It's also a £10 office keyboard, so I'm not really that big of a deal.
And just like go buy another £10 office keyboard.
I will when I really need to. But right now I don't plan on playing. I'm doing a lot of commentary. Like I'm commentating tournaments. I'm commentating Mayhem over the weekend from when this podcast is coming out. I would have recorded commentated One Shot Royale last week. I'm hopefully going to commentate some other tournaments in the future. None have said anything and I haven't reached out to anyone, but I want to. So there is a plan. there is a vision, but none of it really includes playing because I just don't feel that like I'm not really in the mood to play the game. I mean, I might stream FIFA at one point. I think that could be quite fun, but it doesn't really do well. So I'm kind of just sitting there hoping that someone will chat to me.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Whereas with the podcast, I'm guaranteed having a conversation. So there you go. Random transition here because Potato Pie asked us to pause the podcast. I never confront anyone about pausing, but because we've forgotten what we were talking about, I'm confronting you. But if we have an unfinished topic, oh well. Let's ask some of let's reference some of the listeners' points. So for context here, I made a tweet instead of the guest announcement for a podcast announcement with a Google Forms sheet that you can do. Basically, I turn around and went, okay, I need your name if you feel like giving it, and say whatever you want, right? So that's what we're doing. We got 8 responses. Damn, you guys hate my guts. I can't believe we only got 8 responses. It's crazy. We're gonna read through them in order because I looked over all of them. All of them are fine. None of them is gonna get us cancelled unless depends on the answers you give, really. But it's fine. Once again, these were also aimed at both myself and AJX. So don't pretend this is AJX, but it's now aimed at myself and Potato Pie 25. The first one, which is really ironic here, comes from Shorky Games. What is both of your dream podcast guests? You can give one MC related and one non-MC related. I'll let you go first, pretending you were a podcast host.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't know how time.
Well, I mean, technically, you could just go silent. I can just edit the silence out.
Okay, wait. So Minecraft podcast guest. Let's see. I feel like you've talked to like a lot of the cool people already.
But then pretend you started up your own podcast.
My own podcast, okay, from scratch.
Who would be one guest you're like aspiring to get on?
I mean, honestly, someone like Feinberg or Fruitberries, just because, like, I mean, both of those podcasts were like really good, and like they were very good podcast guests. Not necessarily for the views, but like, I mean, like both of them were just like super fun guests, and they also do stuff that like I'm interested in as well. So probably stuff like that.
I thought you would have said Coryway.
I mean, that too. Yeah, that would also be. I mean, probably just like any of the speedrunners. I mean, I know stuff about speedrunning, so like I can talk about it with people. And I mean, they're just all super interesting people as well. So
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I guess that would be my Minecraft stuff. Do you want to go with your Minecraft guest first, or do you want me to say my non-Minecraft guest?
Do you have someone in mind right now for non-Minecraft?
I have a funny answer.
Go on then. We'll keep it on you.
Okay, my non-Minecraft podcast guest would be Taylor Swift because of the amount of fucking views that podcast.
Oh my goodness, so true. That's actually so true. Yeah.
I mean, like that's how you start up a career right there. Like if you were already monetized, think of the amount of money that you would get from like people watching that entire podcast, because you know how many like stands and stuff she has, right? Like, I mean, yeah, that's my funny answer.
Okay, right. My ones. So MC related is really hard to answer because I've gotten all my dream guests on, and so like everyone I've had on is so cool, and there's so many people I wanted on. I mean, I read out people I reached out to: Fruitberries, Feinberg, Noxite. They were big ones I'd always wanted on the podcast. There's a lot of people I want to reach out to at one point in the future, and I will. It's just about managing. Like I said, I'm booked out until the end of May, so I don't want to like send someone a Discord friend request, right? They accept it, and it's like, oh crap, I can't invite you right now actually because I have like until June booked out. And not to say that add me for the sake of the podcast, but you get the idea there. Anyways, if I had to say a specific name, oh my god, I have so many.
Yeah, you see how difficult this was.
But the thing is, it's so different because I've had so many people I have had on, like who I really wanted on. So I've already achieved that part, right?
Yeah.
And there's a strong possibility I achieve these future ones. So who I'm trying to think of someone who is like right now unreachable, or like someone who I'm struggling to reach, if that makes sense, who I really want on. I'm gonna say I need to look for creators' names. There's so many, man. Can I name a few?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I want King B Dogs on the podcast.
Okay.
Not a dream guest, but someone who would be pretty cool. Tommy and It Tubbo, obviously. Yeah. They'd be really sick. AimZ, Ranboo, would love either of those to come on the podcast. If I had to say a specific name though right now, okay, I'm gonna say 2 specific names.
Okay.
Smager and Captain Sparkles. That would be pretty cool to talk to.
Yeah, so, definitely.
That's my Minecraft one. My non-MC one, I also have 2 names. So like my jokey answer, because it's gonna be very hard, if not even unrealistic, based on the fact it's a Minecraft podcast, XQC. I've actually sent.
Yeah, I don't think you would do a podcast, but that would be a fun guest for sure.
Well, I've actually
understanding him.
I've sent him a Discord friend request, so who knows?
I mean, maybe you never know.
Maybe we hit. A serious one though is I actually reached out to them on Instagram, on my private Instagram, to No Luck, but someone who I think would be really, really cool to have on, and it's only if you know them, you know them. Is I hope I pronounce this right. Is Lin Manuel Miranda.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. They've done a lot in their time. I am going to generalize them down to the fact that they played Hamilton, and a little bit of inside MC lore here for that no one will ever know, no one would know about because I've never mentioned it before. So you get the fun fact here. I will probably mention it in the podcast in the future now that I've said it once. I listen to Hamilton on repeat while I edit. I listen to like other songs every now and then, but my Spotify Wrapped, well now I do it, I have since the start of the year. My Spotify Wrapped this year is going to be so fucked considering I obviously spend most of my day editing. So with that I spend most of my day listening to Hamilton, and so my Spotify Wrapped is going to be so messed up. But yeah, I just a fun little lore facts. I think it'd be really cool to have them on and talk to them. There's other honorable mentions, like I'd love to have Ava Chris Tyson on. You know, I've like reached out to like a few non-Minecraft people. I mean, like the Opera GX Twitter admin I wanted on, and I got obviously Sarah Simons I wanted on, and they came on. So you know, I've been quite lucky with getting people I want on who like.
Yeah, I have an answer. I'm surprised you didn't say.
Okay.
Sidemen.
Okay. It used to be Vixar. My Minecraft answer used to be Vixar, and I was close to saying them. I think it'd be cool to have the Sidemen on. I only really watch their Among Us videos now, because you know, and I watch them on 2 times. I watch all YouTube on 2 times. I blame Fulham for that as well, by the way. They made a tweet about how they watch content on 2 times. It never crossed my mind to do it, and now all I do is watch YouTube videos on 2 times speed, and it's like it's good because
it saves so much time. Actually, wow, I've never thought about that.
Yeah, it saves so much time, but but it's a horrible rut to be in because like you get addicted to it, and I'm addicted to watching them on 2 times speed. But which is really ironic considering I run a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But and then I'm also a barista who doesn't drink coffee, so there's a lot of weird things in my life. But yeah, I only really watch that Among Us video. I think it'd be cool. Like I'd love to sit down and talk to them, but I don't know. Like I do think it'd be really, really cool, but I don't know. I can't really explain my feelings right now. I just
fair enough.
Angry Ginge, you know what? Actually, because I'm watching his stream right now. I watch his streams. So I listen to Hamilton and watch Angry Ginge play Pro Clubs while I edit. So Angry Ginge would be my non-MC guest if I had to pick a specific one. There you go.
Okay.
Oh no, because then there's also Jackmate. Jackmate's the reason I started my podcast in the first place. So there's so many. Oh no. I've listed a bunch of names. I've cheated. There you go. We'll do 4 of these, like 4 of the listeners' questions, and then we'll go back to waffling, and then we'll do the other 4. Then there's also like a Twitter one. The next one comes from Penguins.
All right.
Hello, shout out again. Oh, this isn't a question. No questions. Just wanted to say how proud I am of you and the podcast team. You're all doing so well, and it's becoming so successful. Time and effort is really beginning to pay off. First of all, how is it already at 100 episodes? Oh, you'll never believe this, right? Episode 25. But that's because we've uploaded 100.
That's crazy.
I know.
Wow.
I thought Penguins was a little bit smarter than episode 25. I will be real with you.
That's some crazy disrespect, actually. Holy.
They have followed it with, that is crazy. So, you know, just like you said. Second, there's a second part here. I know you guys are going to continue to produce amazing content. Keep it up. You're all doing great. Thank you. But that sounds really enjoying. It does. It means a lot. Thank you, Penguin. I know you're someone who listens to any podcast I upload, and big props for that because you're one of the few people who make it worth it. I mean, lots of things make it worth it, but listener wise, you're one of the people who make it worth it. So thank you. You're also very cool. You're a great Discord mod, and who knows? Maybe we get a Penguins waffle session one time. I don't know what we'd waffle about. Hive bed wars maybe. I don't really want to do Bedrock content. I'm gonna be real. Because a lot of people actually were curious about that. Like, do I ever plan on like bringing a Bedrock creator on? There's a possibility I might like bring like an old guest on at one point. There's no plans for it right now. I'm just so pre-booked, and like so many people have like there's so many people I'm able to reach out to, which is really cool. So you know, we'll see. But I don't plan on inviting any new Bedrock content creators on. So if you're a Bedrock listener, don't stop listening because the podcasts are going to be really, really great. But some of your favorite Hive YouTubers aren't going to be coming on. Sorry, I hate to break the news. The next one is from Virconn. Hello, Vera. Vera's a part of the mini podcast team. They used to help get the background footage, but now they help with like little edits here and there when I need them. They want me to read a joke that they made up to AJX, but I'm gonna have to read it to you because you're here instead.
Is it like an AJX related joke, or is it?
It is, yeah, actually.
Oh,
it doesn't matter. Just pretend your name is Captain Paterpie 25. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to my joke. So they said AJX here, but I'm gonna when they say AJX one time, time, I'm going to rename it to your name, okay? Right. Hello, welcome to my joke. So, Potato Pie 25 walks into a bar. What does he do? He captain. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
That was a really shit joke. That was a really, really shit joke. Oh, Vera helps you research every now and then as well. That was a shit joke. I'm actually embarrassed to read that out loud. I might just cut that out. Honestly, I might just cut out the podcast, Vera. You're not going to hear this. You will. What is that? That's so crap. And then the final one before we go back to waffling is from the ShinyDude, who is also part of the podcast team, my goat. They used to help get background footage, mini podcast team, background footage, but now they help with building. They've actually built the set for a video that's been planned. So nice. Stay tuned. And they built the podcast booth, which is pretty cool. I don't know whether this fact would qualify as fun or concerning, but there's been more than one occasion in 2021 where I drank an entire gallon of milk in one sitting. I don't quite remember why. I guess 18-year-old me wanted to know if I could do it or was just bored. Just to clarify, I obviously would not recommend anyone to drink an entire gallon of milk in one sitting.
Sounds disgusting. Like, I like milk, but drinking a whole gallon of it, like,
you know, I can't drink milk.
You're just lactose intolerant, I guess?
No, I'm not. I just can't drink milk.
What do you mean you can't, like, you're allergic or something like that? Or?
No, so like I can eat dairy, I can drink oat milk, blah blah blah. But cow's milk, it gives me like the lactose intolerant effects, but only cow's milk.
Well, so my girlfriend has the same thing. She's lactose intolerant. She can't drink milk, and she can, like, you know, eat like cheese and, like, you know, ice cream and stuff like that. And it affects her a little bit, but not that much. But like, she just can't drink milk or like cow's milk either. So you're probably just lactose intolerant, but like just at a lower level, I would assume.
Maybe, because I can have it in tea. I can have it in hot chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're just drinking straight milk, then like, yeah.
So maybe I'm part of that lactose. I mean, to be fair though, I haven't drank like raw milk since the last time I drank it, which was like 2 years ago. So maybe I'm fine, and maybe it was just a one-off, but I'm too scared to find out, and I don't need to either. So they did have a bonus fun fact.
Okay.
If you take any fxtwitter.com link in Discord and replace the F with a D, it will turn into an image of Lucario from Pokemon.
Now I need to test this.
I'm going to do it with the guest announcement, with the Hannah Racers Rose guest announcement. We could get Rickrolled here.
Oh, yeah, no, that really is just, yeah, okay. Good to know.
Yeah. What the heck? Why? Thank you for sharing. For
I don't know if I'm ever going to use this information, but thanks for letting us know.
Hold up, what happens if I send it in general chat in your Discord? Like, will it say as a link, or will it convert? Oh wait, I sent the wrong link. Oops, yeah, that just looks like I'm self-promoting now. It didn't let me edit it. Why didn't it? Did. It just stays as a link.
Well, yeah, no, that's so. What happens if I click on it then? Oh yeah, it just shows the PNG.
It just takes you to. That's so strange. Why does it do that?
It is. I don't know.
For like a bit of a specific context here, chat. So you replace the F in the. Why did you delete the link?
Why not?
Well, you replace the F like FX Twitter. You replace that F to a D, and then it just does that for some bizarre reason. That's so strange. Wait, let me ping ShinyDude in InsideMC. Oh, the ShinyDude. That's so funny actually. Why is that a thing?
I don't know.
Alright, back to waffling. What do you want to waffle about now?
I don't know. You're the one that has like the topics list or whatever. I'm just here.
Let's talk a bit about Mayhem. I would have talked about Mayhem with AJ. And so I'm a player manager for Mayhem. He is a team maker. You used to be a player, but then
I played once and did awful.
And you were on my team.
I was. That's true.
I shouldn't really be
leaking. For throwing.
It's fine. We had a good team. We were with Andres and Boostfa. That was pretty high. I technically shouldn't be leaking this to you, but it's fine because public team announcements go out tomorrow. Turbo Piggy's in the next Mayhem.
Oh shoot, nice.
Yeah, I'm actually like purposely like barely playing him. No, that's a joke. But he hasn't really played much, but since I invited him, but he is in the next one. He's on the Pink Peaches, which is the final team announcement, with Feinberg, Kalen, and Nomad of the world. So you'll probably only know Feinberg out of those names.
Well, I know Kalen as well because of that video I edited for you. Like they were like mentioning it or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty good. I mean any team with Feinberg on is going to be a good team. So like,
so Feinberg and Kalen are busted. We've purposely put Turbo on that team because he's dog shit, and that's me being dead serious. Like in a slash way.
Yeah, no, I know.
Turbo Pig has been given that team because he's shit at the game. So no offense, Turbo, if somebody clips this and sends it to you, keep that part in if you clip it. Turbo's great. I'm sure he'd appreciate like being put on that team as well. Mayhem is pretty hype. Actually, I just realized there's probably not much point us talking about it because the whole point was meant to be me and AJ going back and forth about our thoughts, but then when you're not AJ.
Yeah, I don't know much about Mayhem other than the one time that I played in it.
But then we also wouldn't have been able to do the trip down memory lane if I was with AJ, because we talked about like Hive and stuff. So
true, yeah.
What can we go back and forth about Potato Pie 25? Do you have a plan to come back to England?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like when I was there in December, that was super fun. I mean, like touring London and stuff like that. Honestly, if I come back to the UK, I don't want to just do London. Like obviously, you know, like going to go seeing a football game or whatever there, that's cool for sure. But London is just like super busy and crowded and everything like that, and I'd want to go somewhere else that's not London or like, you know, a big city. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but like I've been and done. I'm very privileged to say this. I've been and done London enough to the point where it's not as much of like a novelty anymore. Yes.
Then you you know, owe me a Christmas present. I mean, it's.
I know you're right. I literally have that right behind me as well. It's still just like sitting there. It'll get to you eventually.
Would you like to explain to the class what exactly happened with
right? So I got Orbitzz a Christmas present. It was a Boston Celtics Looney Tunes T-shirt because he likes the Boston Celtics NBA team, and so
Looney Tunes.
So we met up at a West Ham game back in December, and he gave me my Christmas gift, which was a really super awesome customized West Ham shirt. Like it's super cool, and I appreciate that a lot. And I also brought I got him the gift, which is the Looney Tunes shirt. He brought his T-shirt to give to me to the game. I forgot mine at the Airbnb that I was staying at in London. Or no, I forgot it.
You left it in Germany.
No, I left it. Yeah, I left it in Germany. That's right. Yeah, because if it was Airbnb, we would have been able to get it. But yeah, I left it in Germany, and yeah, I considered mailing it. I looked at how much it would cost to mail it to him. $70 fucking.
Yeah, like more than the T-shirt.
The shirt was like.
No, you don't need to say the price of the T-shirt.
Yeah, I mean the shirt. Yeah, it would just cost so much.
It was more expensive than the shirt. That was it. That's what you needed.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll bring it whenever I see you again, I guess, and surely I won't forget it in Germany this time.
Well, I was hoping to go to America, but like I'm off to Berlin, and it's and my financial situation is fine. Like I just realized I'm going to Berlin and then like Rotterdam 2 months later, and then in August I'm hoping to get away as well. Like I realized that going to America probably isn't the wisest of things right now. But yeah, we'll see. Who knows? If once InsideMC starts popping off, that can start funding my trips anyway. True. It'll make it happen. Like I said, that MCC video is gonna skyrocket. I reckon.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm confident. So, but we'll see. But yeah, no, I got this really nice jersey that Potato Pie actually wore at the game. It says Pulisic on the back. He wouldn't stop asking for Pulisic, even though he plays in Italy right now. Where's that Pulisic guy, man? Where's that Starquill Pulisic? He asked.
Your American accent is awful. I just want to make sure you know that every time you try it is god awful.
Or is the American accent just awful? That's the question. Where's LeBron James? Where's LeBron James, man?
All right, boys. Hope you enjoy the podcast. I'm out. See ya.
No, stop it. I'm not done yet. But you know, it's pretty cool to see. No, I don't know why I just write. My brain is just autopiloted. There's no reason for me to say it's pretty cool to see. I don't know why I've done. Bro, my brain just went into like autopilot response mode to myself. What? The shirt was cool, and it was actually a really good game. They won, I believe, against Wolves, like 1-0 or something.
Yeah, was that 3-0? Yeah.
And then, lads, any West Ham supporters out there who listen to this, we decided to take the Stratford exit, which my choice.
Never again.
I never take the Stratford exit. I always take the other, like one of the other exits. But I decided to do it because I wanted to see what the Stratford walk was like with Potato Pie 25. We barely walked. I don't know why that's considered the Stratford walk. I'm never doing that again. I also went to a Forest game last week with AJ. That was really fun. Me and Mark in person. So
that's awesome.
Back to the IRL podcast. Once I get the equipment and stuff, I want to do one with like AJ and hopefully with you at one point. We can fly to America and we can do an American podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the InsideMC Podcast. Today, that was a better accent, no?
That was awful.
Alright, moving back into the viewers things. The next one comes from Starquill. Y'all are pretty cool. Not you. They were referencing me and AJ there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they hate me.
Keep up the great work and happy 100. Thank you, Starquill. I'm actually, you know what I'll do? You know what, Star? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna get that printed onto a card, and then I'm gonna like put your name on it, and then that way, then it feels like it's like in a card, then rather than. I'm not doing that. That's long, and I can't be bothered. Next one comes from Inferno Fox 1234. Oh, okay. We actually have a question again. The thing is, I wanted people to ask for advice, but nobody asked for advice. It's really. I guess actually someone did, but I'll get to that in a second.
You should do like if you run out of stuff to do for like a midweek or just a podcast in general, you should do like an advice podcast. I think that would be.
Well, if anyone actually responds, I mean, I offered advice thing here, and no one responded with it. I have to
did you actually ask for advice though, or did you like here? Wait, let me open up the tweet.
Chill, I'm trying to find it. Patience. Want advice to leave a fun fact? Maybe even ask a question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
fair
exactly.
enough.
That's what I thought. So. But the next one comes from Inferno Fox 1234. Would you rather be frozen for a year, but you're still conscious for that whole year, but nobody will realize you're there, or everyone freezes right now for a year? Anything that will require a human to help it run will run on its own, and after that year, everyone will unfreeze, but I'll act like nothing happened. You can change their position or move them in any way. I think there's such an obvious answer here.
That is so easy.
What do you say?
The second one, where everyone else freezes, and like,
Yeah.
assuming like everything still works, like that's fine.
Yeah,
like,
anything
bro,
that will require a human to help it run will run on its own.
On a normal week, I talk to like in person. I talk to like 3 or 4 people a week, most of which is like my family. So like, if everyone froze for a year, like I don't know, I'd deal with it. That's what I've been doing for the past year, pretty much.
But then it's flawed. And
Okay.
after that year, everyone will unfreeze, but like nothing happened. Wait, so everyone's just gonna go? But then if you've been unfrozen for a year, is time stopping? It's like time stopping. But then anything that you do in that time, like if you go and rob a bank, right? When everyone unfreezes, if they act like nothing happened, will I lose my money? Will I only get the money for the time that I'm frozen?
No, they act. Well, no, like they don't like realize that like anything's happened. So no, you get to keep the money. You'd have to launder it somehow.
But
like,
what about
you know,
the year? But then, like, if it freezes right now, the year will be the 12th of April 2025.
Okay, and wait, why does that matter?
So there's no one going to turn around, look at their calendar, and be like, "Oh, what happened to the last year?"
No, because I feel like that's kind of understood in the question that like no one like realizes anything has happened.
But then how would they not? Like they don't. But then they don't realize anything's happened while they've been frozen. They don't realize they've been frozen.
Okay, let me ask you this then: how would like this is a fake scenario? Like the world isn't going to ever freeze for a year except for one person. Like that's like.
I mean, you say that until it happens.
Okay, this is a fictitious scenario. Like it doesn't. These extra hypotheticals don't really matter.
No, but it's flawed. I think it's a flawed question.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it is flawed, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but I don't think it matters.
No, but it's time freeze, or do people just freeze?
I think it's just people freeze. They don't do anything.
Also, what if I freeze in my room? What if I'm sitting in my chair, like for the first part of the question, I'm sitting and I just freeze? No one realizes I'm there. So if someone comes into my room and wants to use the PC,
then yeah, you're just like invisible to them, basically.
Well, so they're just gonna sit on me? That's a mad sentence. But like, what?
Yeah, I guess.
But are they stupid? Do they just become?
Well, no,
silly?
again, like you're invisible. You don't exist for that year to them.
No, but I'm not invisible. Not once does it say I'm invisible. I'm frozen, but no one will realize I'm there.
Yeah.
But how do you not realize I'm... Okay, so if you're in the middle of the road, right? If you randomly freeze as you're crossing the road and no one realizes you're dead, you just get hit by a car.
You're thinking about this way too hard.
Because it's a flawed question. It's a flawed would you
Yes,
rather.
exactly. That's the point.
Like basic ones. No, but that's not the point. Okay, let me ask you. Would you rather lose all your money or get £1 million?
I'd rather get £1 million, but
Yeah,
that's not realistic. That's also a flawed question.
Where's the flaw?
Because you're not just gonna get £1 million out of thin air.
You can win the lottery. Okay. Would you rather enter the lottery and win it, or would you rather not enter the lottery and not win it?
I'd rather enter it and win it if I knew there was a guaranteed chance of winning.
Yeah, exactly. So where's the flaw?
The fact that you were guaranteed to win, because that's not going to happen.
But you're not. I said if you enter it, would you rather enter it and win it? I'm not saying you're guaranteed to win it. No, you could win £1. The lottery offers like a £10 win. You could just win £10. I didn't specifically say you're going to win like the entire thing.
We're both thinking way too hard about this.
The second one for me as well, by the way, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be frozen for a year. That kind of sucks. Right, next one. It's from Hashtaggy. Can you say something for me?
Me?
Can you just say the line MCCI Plobby?
MCCI Bobby?
There we go. So Hashtaggy is the MCCI Plobby guy, and I know they're listening to this as well. Don't worry, you don't need to know the context. You just need to go along with it.
Okay, cool. As long as I didn't say anything bad, then sure, I guess.
No, you did. No, don't worry. I wouldn't make you say anything bad. About 25.
Okay.
Okay, so I want your guys' opinion on a concept of removing time zones. There's more, sorry. It would be such a revolutionary idea. Everyone would have to get used to having different times. After a while, it would be very beneficial in my opinion. It would be so much easier to communicate with people from other regions of the world while there almost aren't any long-term downsides of it.
Okay, there's a flaw in that as well.
I
can nerd out about this for a second.
Okay, let's nerd out about this.
So, first of all, it's not going to aid communication any better. So, first of all, this technically already exists. It's something called UTC, or Universal Coordinated Time, or something like that. And like a lot of like online or like computers like like every computer basically already uses UTC, and then they just convert it to like whatever the location's time zone is. But other than like, I guess it would help people that can't do math or, you know, like can't use Google or whatever to figure out what other time zone, you know, they're talking to. It wouldn't really aid communication that much, I feel like. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. It already exists, but it doesn't really change that much because a lot of the public is just bad at math.
Nicest way possible here, hashtaggy. In the nicest way possible. That is the shittest idea I've ever heard. All right. What time is it for you right now, Mr. Potato Pie 25?
It is 3:29 p.m.
Imagine it was 3:29 p.m. for me right now. It's nighttime outside. Am I going to be going to bed at 6 p.m. and you go to bed at like 11 p.m.? What's the point? Yeah, because I'll be going to bed at 6 p.m. and you'll go to bed at like, if say I'm meant to be sleeping at 11 on normal time zones, I'll be going to bed at 6. It won't change anything. It'll make things more confusing. As to,
well, okay,
someone might turn around to me and be like, oh, why are you going to bed at 5 p.m.? Because we're all on the same time zone, but I live in a different part of the world too. That takes more explaining. At least with time zones, I can be like, oh, it's this time EST. Oh, you're Eastern Standard. You live in America. Oh, that's great. Oh, this is time in Europe. Oh, you live in Europe. Oh, that's great. If I turn around and go, oh, I'm off to bed. It's 3 p.m. Yes, but I'm Australian. Okay, it's like 3 a.m. for me. What do you mean? I think it's silly. It just causes more confusion than it does any benefit at all.
No, that's true. So there's something similar like this already. So China, you know how big China is. They use the same time zone for the entire country. The country is like, I've got a time zone map up right now, basically, and their country spans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different time zones. Like in term, well, no, how many like lines actually? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they span 5 lines, five what would be time zone basically. And so that scenario that you just described of it being 3 p.m. here and it being 8 p.m. there literally like exists in China. Like if you know you're in the western part of China, it would be 3 p.m. But then in the far eastern part of China, it would be 8 p.m. And you know, like yeah, it's just weird. So like, you know, people in China on the far western part end up going to bed at like 1 a.m. when it's really just like, you know, 7 p.m. or whatever for what would be their real time. So yeah, it's just a bad idea all around pretty much.
Imagine an Australian and an American having a conversation as to why they're going to bed at like 2 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I mean alongside that, like it doesn't like kind of linking back to what you said, it doesn't change communication because I'm still going to go to bed like say I go to bed in an hour right now, I'm still going to go to bed in an hour. Our times being the same isn't going to change that. Unless you're assuming that the earth is flat, hashtag it, and the sun rotates onto the bottom of the earth where there's nothing. It's just like a cardboard piece of paper and you know what I mean, and we have the moon and the earth is actually flat. If you want the earth to become flat, we can try flattening it out, and then time zones would make sense technically, because you know, why would I be going to sleep at 3 p.m. if it's nice and sunny outside? Because it's going to be sunny for everyone, right?
Yeah, that's just a weird question all around pretty much.
That's it. Before we get into the last one here, I actually have a topic I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm really glad you brought this up, hashtaggy, because it reminds me. So on Sunday I got an Uber. No, not Sunday. Yes, Sunday. No, Saturday night I got an Uber, right? And the Uber driver was really, really cool. We got talking. He was talking about how he does crypto part-time and he does Uber part-time, blah blah. Seemed like a cool guy, right? So then we was talking a lot about him, so I wanted to talk a little bit about me. I said to him, oh, you know, like I'm a barista, and yeah, I do a bit of like social media on the side. I help him. I always tell people I help with my friend's podcast, right? I help edit, manage it, blah blah blah. He said, you know who should get on the podcast? And I said, yeah. He was like, oh, a flat earth believer. I said, and he said, yeah, like those do like mad numbers for views, and he's right. Like he's not wrong. He's right. They do. He's like, you should just get one on, have an argument with them about why the earth is flat, blah blah. Like they do great because you think. And I went, yeah. So I made a tweet yesterday before recording this podcast about my Uber driver didn't believe in circles, right? I made that tweet up. I lied. All right, it got like 6 likes. It wasn't even worth it. But it links back to Saturday because we're talking, and he turns around and starts talking about the earth being flat. At first, I thought he was joking. I thought he was like waffling away, you know, pretending he was a flat earther thing. No, this man believed in a flat earth, and really great guy. So I'm not judging him, and he's a really good Uber driver as well. And I love talking to him, gave him 5 stars, everything great. He did believe the earth was flat. Do you know what makes it so funny?
What?
There's two things. First thing, I said to him, okay, so if the earth is flat, I said, how come someone's ever walked off it? So he went, because like Antarctica isn't like actually just in one place. I said, what do you mean? He's like, do you know like there's this like Antarctica law where you can't go there or something without NASA or something? I said, yeah. He said, that's because it actually surrounds our entire Earth and we have like infinite Earth. And he said, Antarctica is actually just this massive wall that locks us in that we can't escape. So did you know what I turned around and said to him?
What?
Oh, so it's a bit like a Minecraft infinite world. And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh my, I said, that makes sense actually. I said, yeah, because like on Minecraft you can have like an infinite world. I said, so it's like this. He went, yeah, exactly. I was like, and he was being serious, like he wasn't joking, he was being dead serious. And anyways, we get to one, he tells me about this one guy. He told me the name of apparently how he went to Antarctica, said he saw the big wall and then ended up going home back to the USA and got shot. I actually have the screenshot. Their name was Richard E. Bird, spelled B-Y-R-D.
Okay. I
don't know. But this was on Saturday at 8:36 p.m. my time, which in time zones, everyone's 8:36 p.m. actually. So, but we carried on talking and like stuff, and then we got into talking about how like the world is a simulation. This wasn't really a long Uber ride, by the way, but we had a really long conversation, and he was talking about how he thinks for the simulation and stuff, blah blah blah. And then I got him really thinking because we started talking about like stuff, and I said, oh, have you ever heard like of that thing then? He said, what? I said, like the tree in the forest theory. Like obviously if a tree falls in a forest, does it actually make a sound? Which is a good theory. I mean, does it? No one will ever know.
Yeah.
But what's your take on that? I hear you want to step in.
I don't want to. Oh my god. Okay.
If you don't want to, you don't have
to.
I just thought you was going
to. No, I mean, I just don't have a good answer to that. Honestly, like, yes, it does, but there's no way to prove it.
Yeah,
is my answer pretty much.
But so he was talking about this theory, right? And I turned around to him and I gave him a really good one that I thought he'd heard of. I said, oh, so surely you've heard of this one then? And what I said, like water is wet. He said, what do you mean? I was like, do you know if you walk into the ocean and you go swimming and you come out and you're soaking wet, does that mean water is wet or does water just make you wet? And he went, oh, it's like, that's so good. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, because thinking of the states like of the solid and the gas. I said, exactly, like solid water, I mean, that's not solid, it's like hard. And then liquid, I said, but like, is it just making you wet? Is the water itself wet? He's like, oh, that's actually a really good one, I was like, yeah, no, yes, it's really good. I was like, it gets you thinking. I was like, yeah. It was just so, he's a really great guy to talk to. And he also said that I should get AI to do my podcast. So if in 2 months I start sounding like Quebble Cop, there you go. But yeah, really great guy. Just so funny that he was actually genuinely a flat earth believer. I told him I'd invite him on the podcast. I said if you give me like a contact detail, I can talk to my mate and we could probably get you on so you can talk about like your crypto and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, but then he never gave me his details. So
damn.
But if you're somehow listening to this podcast, my friend, please don't dox where I was going to or where I came from. That would be great because we had a lovely conversation. I found it funny that I actually believed the earth was a frisbee. So.
Yeah.
Any takes on that?
No, honestly, that was just a wild story.
That's funny. I got so many stories. The last one then comes from Animal Mouse. There's law here. So they actually did this right after we recorded the podcast. So this is that's why. So this would have never happened if I recorded this on Monday. So this is law. I need animation tips. I don't really want to answer this question. If you want the law, but like behind the animation tips, I gave them loads on their podcast. So go listen to that. It came out last Wednesday. If you're listening on release day. So there you go. Nice. I've just used you, Animal Mace, to promote your own podcast. Looking at that. But yeah, that's all the responses. We do have a Twitter response.
I saw that one. I thought that was a really good one, actually.
From Beer Funger.
Yeah.
I got a question. 100 episodes later, which was the first episode where you felt like you were comfortable in the podcast and knew like the back of your hand what you wanted to do / how you wanted to go about it? Okay, I'm gonna while I look through my podcast and figure this out like properly, I'm gonna put this on you if this is fine. And ask you, when do you think my confidence changed with the podcast? If you can answer it, because obviously you've been there. I don't tell you as much as I do to other people nowadays because I know you're busy, so I don't DM you as much. When do you think things were kind of like?
I mean, it would probably have to be somewhere in between. Okay. I bet it was actually the Ant Venom podcast.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was like your first, I guess, like really big creator that you kind of talked to, and that I guess that's what probably gave you your confidence to be able to like shout and stuff like that.
So
I don't know. That's my guess, basically.
You're correct with the wrong reasoning.
Okay.
I love that podcast. I hated how I was on that podcast so much. Looking back on it, I just felt really unprofessional. I know like we talked a bunch before and after the podcast with him, and he was a really great guy. But like mid podcast, I get really excited because I'm able to invite him to a Discord server. I'm like, oh, like when CCC was a thing, I invited him to CCC, and on mid podcast, I'm getting all excited and like, oh yeah, like I'm inviting Anvin. I'm like, really unprofessional. And I look back on it and sometimes I'm thinking like, geez, like I wish I could make up for it. Maybe one day Anvin might come back on the podcast, who knows? But I look back on it and I think that was really, really unprofessional, and I don't want to make that mistake again of becoming off like a big Anvin fan. Having him on the podcast was a dream, and especially at the time I was like a really, I'm still am, but I was a really, really big Anvin fan, and I did a good job. I did a great job, but I did everything wrong. And so with the return, I made sure not to make the same mistakes with the podcast, and that's why I slowly built up. I didn't really have the connections anyways, but still I slowly built up. And I think my confidence really came, I think, like when I was really, really confident, I think was after the Samito podcast.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, before that I
fair.
had confidence, I think, because I remember saying it to you, and I'm happy to probably say this, I was part worried about how that podcast was going to go, because Samito's a great guy. I just wasn't sure the journey, like the direction we were going to take that podcast, and I was a little bit worried. And then after I realized, shit, we did a really, really good job, I was like, okay, I can talk to people, I can do this. And then after that, I just, you know, Feinberg came on, Aaron came on, Freeberries, Noxite, Silver Run, Speed Silver, you know, everyone started coming on. And then that's when, like, now I'm fully I actually, you know what, also it's also when I started changing the Twitter promotion tactic,
okay,
which would have been podcasts, but it was after midweek MC began. When was it? When was the last time I used when I started promoting the podcast, like, without, so like I promoted them on Twitter with like the clip playing and stuff. Now, don't I? I didn't up until the first time I did it was for the Lagundo. No, that was when I was uploading clips. Oh god, I went for an uploading clip stage on Twitter. That's rough. MCC Twitch Rivals, I believe, was the first time I used the background footage, where I used like the pre-highlights, because I also brought them back, because remember I wasn't using pre-highlights after the return of the podcast, and you said it. You said, why are you not doing that? It's like, because I can't be bothered. And then I realized that actually if I want to do well, I need to lock in on every area, and so I did. And yeah, there you go. So great crazy. Yeah, that's what I think the turning point was. With that being said, then I think that brings the end of this week's Inside MC for Third Party 25. Right. How was that? Did you enjoy hearing me waffle away and eat your ear off?
I mean, that was fine. Like, it was genuinely good conversations. I enjoyed it.
Floor's yours to promote yourself here. I always like to give this opportunity, as you know.
I mean, really the only platform I'm, I guess, planning on being active on is YouTube. So youtube.com/PotatoPie25. I'll probably be in the description of this anyways. So just click that. Subscribe if you
Twitch,
like what you see.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I cut you off. I feel like you were done talking.
Yeah, sorry. What'd you say?
Oh no, I said I'm gonna put your Twitch down there as well.
Oh, okay. Go for it. I guess. Yeah.
Twitch and YouTube in the description below. Little part sappy outro here. Just want to say a big thank you for the support on the podcast. It means a lot, even just from listening and to sharing, and you know, even to those who do it financially. We have channel memberships. Not that there's really many, but if you want to and you didn't know about it and you want to become a channel member, would appreciate it. All of the money we earn, and even out of my own money that I earn through, what's it called, like IRL job in quotation marks, is all spent on the podcast or invested back into the podcast. So you know, your money will be going to a good place, and not for me to order takeout. So it is invested back into content, and like, you know, paying like for like a little bit here and there for my team, because it's a nice way to support them. But yeah, thank you all for listening on a weekly basis, to those who do and to those who don't, and just listen every now and then. It doesn't matter. This could be the first podcast you're listening to. I appreciate the support. It means a lot. And yeah, thank you for coming on this journey. Enjoy the podcast next week, because after that we're taking a break. By break I mean 1 week off, because I'm going to Berlin, and then we'll be back again. So don't claw your hair out. It's okay. But yeah, sappy moment over. We ball. Stop crying. Go listen to old podcasts. This has been Inside MC. Don't eat too much bread. Stay safe. Whatever order you want it. Peace.